Good morning. Grab your coffee and stay with me, because we need to talk about that framed piece of paper on your wall. For 70 years, we've been told the same story. A university degree is the ultimate insurance policy. It's the golden ticket to the middle class, the shield against economic storms, and the one investment that never loses value. But here's the deal, in 2026, that story has officially turned into a ghost story. For nearly a third of graduates, that insurance policy has become a $200,000 anchor dragging them straight to the bottom. Let's look at the numbers, and I'm warning you, they're not pretty. The average cost of a private 4-year degree has hit $218,000. Meanwhile, total US student debt is ballooning toward $2.4 trillion. That's a 14% jump in just 3 years. But here's the kicker, the part that should make every parent and student pause. 28% of all college programs now have a negative 10-year ROI. That means for 1 out of every 4 students, going to college actually makes them mathematically poorer than if they'd never stepped foot on campus. Let that sink in. We're not talking about a slight dip in value. We're talking about a systematic destruction of the primary ladder to wealth. It's a massive mismatch. We've seen institutional tuition hikes exceeding real wage growth for 15 consecutive years. It's like buying a house where the mortgage keeps going up, but the roof keeps getting smaller. And now, the interest freeze is long gone and the math is finally catching up with the dream. If the ladder to the middle class is still there, why did the first 5 rungs suddenly vanish? Here's where it gets strange. Okay, let's talk about the real problem. It's not just that the degree is expensive, it's that the job it was supposed to buy you is being deleted in real time. Since 2022, entry-level tech job postings have plummeted by 67%. 67%, that's not a hiring freeze. That's a total structural collapse of the junior labor market. And the culprit isn't a recession, it's efficiency. Welcome to the year of efficiency that never ended. Think about what a junior analyst or a first-year developer actually does. They research, they clean up data, they draft basic memos, they write boilerplate code. They're basically in an apprenticeship, learning the ropes while doing the grunt work. Well, here's the reality. 66% of the S&P 500 has now fully integrated agentic AI workflows for those exact tasks. Why would a firm hire 2 juniors and 1 senior when they can hire 1 senior plus a fleet of AI agents? The AI is 3 times cheaper, twice as fast, and it doesn't need a dental plan or 3 months of onboarding. This is the junior task elimination causal chain. We've effectively decapitated the bottom of the corporate ladder. The learning phase of a career, that crucial period where you get paid to get better, is being automated away. When you combine that with the fact that junior wages have actually dropped by over 2% when adjusted for inflation, you realize the entry-level role is becoming a myth. Companies aren't looking for potential anymore, they're looking for immediate autonomous output. Now, this is the part I find wild. If companies aren't paying those salaries to the next generation, where exactly is that money flowing instead? So here's where the story takes a turn. The money hasn't disappeared, it's just changed its destination. We're seeing a massive shift from localized full-time junior salaries to what we call skill-as-service platforms. Think Upwork, Toptal, and specialized AI human hybrid agencies. This market has exploded to $36 billion, growing by over 200% in just 3 years. We're moving toward a global fractional economy. Instead of hiring a junior designer in Chicago for $70,000 a year plus benefits, a company now goes to a platform and hires a fractional expert who uses AI to do the work of 5 people. They pay for the task, not the person. They pay for the output, not the office space. Corporate savings through this global AI hybrid arbitrage are averaging 45% per role. That is a massive amount of capital being redirected from the pockets of young graduates into the pockets of platform owners and AI infrastructure giants. This isn't just a jobless economy, it's an unbundled economy. The middleman, the platform, is capturing the surplus value that used to be the entry-level salary. It's a follow-the-money story that leads straight to Silicon Valley's server farms. If you're a recent grad sitting in an apartment you can't afford, staring at a diploma that isn't opening doors, you're not imagining it. The system has swapped you out for a subscription model. Is this a modern anomaly? Or are we just the latest victims of a cycle that started 500 years ago? Let's zoom out for a second. I know. I know, it sounds like a sci-fi dystopia, but history actually has a very weird precedent for this. Between 1580 and 1620, Europe went through what historians call the clerical overproduction crisis. The printing press had made education accessible to thousands of people, creating a massive class of educated elites, clerks, lawyers, and priests. But the feudal economies of the time couldn't absorb them. You had thousands of overqualified, debt-ridden intellectuals with no jobs. It led to decades of social upheaval. Sound familiar? Today, we have the digital printing press, AI. We've created a credentialing cartel that, as Peter Thiel argues, is a subprime bubble worse than the 2008 housing crisis. Thiel calls it a subprime asset because people are borrowing huge amounts of money for a product, a degree that AI has rendered functionally obsolete. On the other side, you have people like Satya Nadella at Microsoft saying, wait, this isn't about replacement, it's about augmentation. He argues that every worker now has the power of a junior staffer at their fingertips. But here's the catch. If everyone has a junior staffer in their pocket, why would anyone hire a human one? We're looking at over $1 trillion in excess credential valuation. That means we're valuing these degrees based on what they used to be worth, not what they can actually produce in a world of autonomous workflows. The bulls see a productivity explosion. The bears see a debt-laden generation with no path to equity. The truth? It's probably both. So if the credential is dead and the junior role is automated, how do you survive the jobless boom of 2026? Here's the bottom line. The game hasn't ended, but the rules have been completely rewritten. We are looking at a structural unemployment risk for white-collar roles that could hit 6%. But at the same time, we're seeing an 85% projected rise in solo entrepreneurship. The 2026 worker isn't an employee in the traditional sense. They're an enterprise individual. If you're looking for a survival strategy, look at the yield. Traditional degrees are struggling, but micro-credentials, fast, hyper-specific AI-integrated certifications are showing an ROI that is 12 times higher in the first 36 months. Why? Because they focus on what the market needs right now, not what a curriculum committee decided 4 years ago. You have to stop thinking of your career as a ladder and start thinking of it as a portfolio of skills that you lease to the highest bidder. The career trap is waiting for a junior role that isn't coming back. The new map is becoming the person who manages the AI that took the junior role. The diploma on your wall is no longer a shield. In the age of autonomous workflows, your only real asset is the speed at which you can adapt to a world that no longer needs a junior version of you. Think about that next time you see your student loan statement. Are you paying for a future? Or are you paying for a ghost? I'll leave you with that.